Once upon a time, a man, a father, loved his daughter quite deeply, wanted to give her a lesson that he knew she would not understand, but that if he was to sow the seed in her, that the time would come when something would transpire from her own experiences that would make a big difference in her life. And he owned an orchard, large orchard. So he took her one day, small girl, and he said, "Come on, let's go pick some of the new peaches. They're just coming in." "Oh, I love peaches." So off they went, the two of them. And they went to the far edge of the orchard where, and you'll see why I tell you this, the one side of the orchard that was cornered, a corner of it had this massive boulder, maybe 30, 40 feet high. You've seen these massive boulders. It was too big to move, and it was too beautiful, to tell you the truth. And they planted the trees, but the man knew that there was a certain negative condition connected with the placement of that boulder, which you'll see. So he takes his daughter, and they go out to the tree that's nearest to this boulder, and he says, "All right," he said, "I'll tell you what, should we eat some peaches?" "Yeah, let's eat some peaches." So he says, "All right, you go up and get me a peach, climb the tree, go up and get me a peach from that limb, and then go up and get me a peach from a limb on the other side of the tree." So she dutifully goes upside, gets both peaches, brings them down, and they're beautiful. The season had come to its fulfillment. They were beautiful peaches. And he says, "All right, you ready?" She said, "Yeah." And he takes out his pocket knife, and he slices a piece from the right side. And he says, "Let's have a bite." They both take a bite, and her little face lights up. Have you ever had a really good peach? I mean a real peach. Not what you buy in the markets by and large, but a real peach, a real tomato, an heirloom tomato. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love peaches. I love peaches. I do too, he said. "All right, let's have the other peach." And she slices a piece out of the other piece, puts it in her mouth. Face screws up all like that. Poo. That's terrible. Why is it? What's wrong with that peach? He says, "Nothing's wrong with the peach." "Well, why doesn't it taste like the other peach?" He said, "Because come with me." And together they backed out about 100 yards. And he said, "Now let's look at that tree together. What do you see?" And she looked, and she said, "I don't see anything. Look closer." And because I don't have time, I've got several stories. Finally, she says, "Oh," she says, "half of it is in the shade." He said, "That's exactly right." He said, "Half of the tree is in the shade, which means that the peach that was so sour was sour because it wasn't ripe yet. It was not yet ripe." Repeat the words, "not yet ripe." She says, "Well, why? Why was the one side ripe and the other side wasn't?" He said, "Because the one side that was sweet, the flesh of the fruit, bathed in the sunlight. The side of the tree that was not yet sweet sat in the shade more than it sat in the light." "I don't understand." He said, the light acts on the flesh, and it converts the flesh. That's its purpose. That's its relationship to the fruit. The fruit that sits in the light ripens. The fruit that doesn't. Or it takes much longer for it to do. In this simple illustration, think of the words "as above, so below." Because inherent in what I'm telling you is the mystery of how the soul ripens, of what is required of an individual to begin living in a world of awareness, in a world of light, synonymous with the word awareness, where they are bathed consistently by something that, by a mystery that science itself can barely understand in this world, transfigures the nature that sits in it. The nature is changed by the light. The nature doesn't create the light. The nature has to be bathed in it in order for the nature to be changed.